Hello, welcome back to my channel and welcome to part 3 of my January declutter series. If you're joining me for this one for the first time, I made a decision that in January I was going to go around the house and get rid of 10 things every single day in January from around the house. Various different departments. Do you have departments in your house? Various different areas, various different categories, I suppose. And it's been going very well. And this is part 3. So I broke it into 4 parts, I think. So it'd be 8, 16, 24, and then there'll probably be 7 in the last one, won't there? I think that's 31. I've just pulled up a couple of comments off of the other videos that have already gone up that I wanted to answer. One of them is from Natalie Kibble, and she says, most of the food you threw away, this was, I think, in the first video, but I'm not sure now. Most of the food you threw away has a best before date, which is only an indication of quality. Most of it will still be perfectly okay to eat if unopened. And absolutely she is correct. I'm not particularly hidebound by dates as a general rule. And as a general rule, I would look at something, oh, it's best before, I'll eat, I'll open it, I'll smell it, I'll try and whatever, you know. So I don't just throw things away just because the date is expired. But in this particular instance, when I went through that cupboard, I knew damn well I wasn't going to eat that food. I knew that it's been sitting there that long. I don't open that cupboard. I don't go in that cupboard and get food out. So I could have gone, this food will be fine, and put it back in. And I would have achieved nothing by doing that because I still wouldn't go to that cupboard and eat that food. I don't know what the stumbling block is with it, but it's gone because it would have been wasted otherwise. It is just a shame that you can't take food that's past its date to the food bank, because I agree that that food would have probably been absolutely fine. I'm not sure about the almond milk. Somebody else said that they would have had the almond milk. I think almond milk that's 6 months out of date is probably past its best. I think it was best before rather than a use by, but even so, I think 6 months for an almond milk is probably past its best. Anyway, the second comment was from Christine Beams, and she says, you were almost a hoarder, you stopped just in time, well done. And I didn't quite know how to take that. I am far from a hoarder, and the reason that I know that is that I don't want a lot of my stuff. I don't want it. If you've said to me, I have emptied out so-and-so cupboard and taken it all away, I would probably go, oh, okay. Whereas I think with your hoarder, a hoarder would be traumatised by the idea that you had emptied out this cupboard without permission, that you'd taken their stuff, that they hadn't looked at it and touched it or anything. I keep things mainly because I have a horror of actual waste. I don't want stuff to go to landfill. I look at things and I go, I know that I don't need that anymore. Someone out there will have a use for it, so I will keep it and I will give it to the person who has a use for it. And then I put it away, and because of that out of sight, out of mind thing that I've mentioned, I forget that I own it. So it's not hoarding in the sense of I want to keep all these things. I don't just accumulate things that I want to keep. I just forget that I own the stuff, and even after I've decided I don't want it, I forget that I own it, which is why getting rid of it 10 items in a day is working for me, because it's going in a bag, and as soon as that bag is full, that bag is going to the charity shop. I'm not putting it away in a cupboard and forgetting it's there anymore. It's going and it's out of the way. So yeah, I think certainly I don't fit my definition of what a hoarder is. To me, a hoarder is someone who wants all that stuff. I remember watching Mr. Trebus. Those of you who are in the UK may remember a programme probably 20 odd years ago now called Life of Grime. And it followed the operatives from Haringey Council as they went around dealing with litter and, you know, various issues, rats and so on, so within their council borough. And one of the council officials had to deal with a gentleman called Mr. Trebus, who was a hoarder, and he was one of the types of hoarders who go out every day and come home with more stuff and add it to their pile of stuff. And he had a terrible, terrible problem. But of course he had been, if I recall correctly, he was a Holocaust survivor, and he had lost everything. In his lifetime, he had lost everything he owned. And so now his reaction to that was to accumulate stuff and keep stuff. And his hoard made him feel safe. My clutter doesn't make me feel safe. I don't want the clutter, but it just tends to accumulate because I quite often rebuy things because I forget that I own them. Or because in some way that I think a new one will do something different than the old one did. Or for example, in this video that you're about to watch now, I get rid of a KitchenAid chopping box at one point. And I bought a different one because I broke the blade that I wanted for the KitchenAid one. But then it seemed such a waste to put the entire chopping blocks in the bin, so I just put it in the cupboard to be dealt with later. And that's kind of where it is. I don't want to waste the stuff. I don't want to send it to landfill, but I don't want to own it myself anymore either. And I would quite happily have somebody go through my house and just take 70% of my stuff away, and I wouldn't be bothered in the slightest. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this week's edition of the January Declutter. Here are the next 8 days, and I will see you soon. Take care. Okay, it is day 17. I've had to find another 10 items to get rid of. Still in this cupboard. This is my charity bag that I filled the other day. That hasn't gone anywhere yet because I can fit a bit more in it. I'm still working on this cupboard. I'm sorry if the lens looks a bit grubby. I've wiped it. It doesn't seem to have changed. So we're still working on this cupboard. Moving up to this next shelf now. And I'm going to get rid of all of these containers. I did say in one of the previous videos that I have tried to be a canister person. I've tried so hard. I watched all of those pantry videos where people make their pantries look lovely. It doesn't work for us. What happens is I forget what I've got. I forget how long I've had it because I didn't do that sensible thing where you're supposed to put the date on them. And I don't use it. And so everything in these canisters has been in here since none of these canisters have been emptied and refilled since I put them in. And I don't know if you guys can remember, but I think that was about 3 or 4 years ago. That's how bad it is. I think I filled these canisters maybe during or just after COVID lockdown. I don't know, I'd have to go back through my videos to see if I could find the video where I did them all in, but that's how long it is, and I don't use the stuff because it's in the canisters. Partly I just probably don't use this stuff very often anyway, but for example, the front of that says apricots. Tell me if those look like any apricots you'd want to eat. I've got some ancient meringues. I must have used the icing sugar, that's empty. But again, why on earth did I think that would be? You can't fit a box of icing sugar in there anyway. The flowers have definitely been there so long, they've probably got weevils or whatever happens to flowers. And because of that, I end up going out and buying another bag, which is then up there in a basket. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. I'm going to empty all of these and clean these, and then these can go probably to the charity shop, I would have thought. That would be quite a useful place. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That would easily do today's 10 because there's more than 10 there. But let me do the rest of this shelf and see if I can add anything to that. If not, I'm going to happily call that the 10, but let me see if I can add anything. Okay, I've got a packet of croutons that are out of date October 24th, so they can go. I've got these Rivita crisp breads. I don't even know how long they've been there, but they're not actually sealed. Even though I put a clip on there, they're not sealed, and I'm sure they're out of date. May 2024. This bag of plain flour, I believe, is a current and ongoing bag. Yeah, this is not out of date yet. And as you can see, what happened was because I distrusted the age of the flour that I had in the canister. That's not flour, this is it. Because I distrusted the age of this, I went and bought a fresh bag, you see. So, yes, the flour's fine. Got a sponge mix here, which is March 2024. It might be fine. I don't think I'm going to bother. I think I'm going to bin it. And then I've got some maple syrup. I'm not sure where this came from. It might have been a gift that somebody gave us. And I don't know where from, but it's been there a very long time and I know I don't want it. However, does maple syrup have a best before date? It's from Canada, as if somebody had been to Canada and brought it back for us. And if so, I don't know who. Maybe it was one of you guys. I don't know. Maybe it came in a hamper of some kind. I can't see any dates on there, and it's probably okay. But plainly, we don't need it, do we? As me going, it's okay, I'll put it back in the cupboard. What on earth for? If it's been there so long that I don't know where it came from, what do I need to put it back for? So, then, that is actually the current gravy. It's just in the wrong cupboard. That's a brand new mayonnaise that hasn't been opened yet. This is a brand new yoghurt and mint dressing, but is it out of date? Yes, it is. November 2024. Because I bought too many of them at a time. I think it's difficult to find this sometimes, and so when I found a shop that had it, I bought several and then we went off it. And then in my whirligig, yes, I know they're not called that, I've got some egg whites. They went out of date in September. Not open. Salad cream that looks extremely unlike salad cream should look. It's got a very funny colour. Date 1st of June 2023. No wonder that's gone a funny colour. We don't tend to use salad cream. I don't even know how it got there. I know the vanilla is alright because I've been using that recently. The garlic mayo I think is okay because that's not been in there very long. I think Anthony's put that in there. Although it's out of date in about 10 days time. This honey, I know you can bring honey back to life. I know you can. If it crystallises like this, you can bring it back to life by putting it in hot water. So I'm going to put that back in because I do use honey sometimes in a chicken recipe. And it's not out of date. Probably could do with buying a new vinegar. Lemon juice. I mean, lemon juice is going to be fine, isn't it? It's out of date at the end of January. Maybe I'll try and use a lot of lemon juice in the next 10 days. My sweetener's okay. I don't use it very often, but I'm sure it's okay. It's not out of date. And salt is fine. And this ketchup is also fine, I believe, because it's the current ongoing one. Okay, I feel a bit better about that. I'm going to clean that shelf out before I put stuff back in. So, what did I end up with? All of the canisters and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other items. I'm going to call that 10 because I've got 12 canisters. I'm going to call that my 10 for today. I think that's fair. Let me know in the comments if you don't think that's fair, although it'll be too late because I'll have done it by the time you see this. Okay, I'm going to wash my canisters out and tidy up. I am revisiting that drawer that I started this all with. The state of my hair, I got caught in the weather. This is the drawer that I started all this with on New Year's Day. And I know some of you were distressed because I wasn't able to do that drawer all in one go. But here I am revisiting it and dealing with the rest of it. And I was right, this little pot is for the cocktail sticks. So we'll find those, and I've found the discs for the ricer, which is also nice because I thought we'd lost those forever. Okay. Okay, so there's definitely more than 10 here. I've got some very, very dusty egg poaching bags, don't use them. Microwave steam bags, don't use them. They're so minging, I'm going to put them in the bin. They're dusty and cruddy. And then I think pretty much everything here is bin worthy. I don't think the charity shop wants any of this. Possibly the cookie cutters could go to the charity shop. Everything else is just crud. There's definitely more than 10 there. This is going because it's broken, despite the fact it's my favourite whisk, so I have to find a new silicone whisk now. This, I don't know what it is. It says vacuum on the top. Something to do with a bottle of drink, maybe? Don't know. It's going in the bin. I'd like you to know that we are not drug addicts. These are pet syringes for Metacam look for dogs, you see? Just because of... Otherwise, people on the internet will be, oh my God, did you see the syringes in the drawer? And an assortment of plastic spoons. I don't know where they come from. So, yeah. That's today's more than 10. And now look at the joy that is that drawer. Hurrah! Hello, it is the 19th and today's 10 are somewhat of a surprise to me. And I'm very annoyed with myself about this. You're probably annoyed with me too, but you know, the internet loves being annoyed with me, so it won't hurt. Everything I'm about to throw away, not this loaf of bread, that just happens to be sitting next to it. It's all out of this top drawer of the freezer. I opened the drawer to put some ice cubes in, this drawer here. I had a rage, I went, this is ridiculous, and I decided to clear out that drawer, and this is how much stuff I need to throw away. So, I have got an unidentifiable piece of meat. It's very freezer burnt, I don't know what it is, it doesn't look appetising. May have been chicken once upon a time, it's been there a very long time. And ditto, second lump of meat. I think that might be a pork chop in there, but again, it's been in there for ages and it's unidentifiable. I really should label things. This is a pork steak, but it has been in there for more than 2 years, so that's going to go. I'm not sure what this is. It's obviously a portion of a sauce that I froze, but I can't remember what. There's a very old tub of ice cream there. Best before 20th of April 23. That's just a piece of tissue I used a minute ago. And that's just an ice cube bag, and that's a piece of rubbish. Some frozen roast potatoes, again, very freezer burned. They've been in there extremely long time. 3 chalk ices, which are they're just beyond their best. And then this is the really annoying stuff. This is the fudge I made when I tried to make rainbow fudge. And I had a big plan for how I was going to come back to the rainbow fudge and revisit and see if I could sort it out. And I didn't. And it's now been in the freezer for so long that it's no longer edible. This is the butter I made when I decided I would have a go at making butter. I made loads of butter. It was great. You can make butter at home and you can keep it in your freezer for up to 3 months. You cannot keep it in your freezer for up to 18 months. So that needs to go. This is a random waffle. I don't know how long it's been in there, but it wasn't frozen when I took it out, so I felt like that should probably go. There are a bag of prawns here, best before December 2023. I'm not too hot on best before dates when it's frozen food, but prawns are a bit dodgy at best of times, and also look how freezer burnt they are. There's a bag of sweet corn, which is just a solid rock of lump, and it looks awful. It doesn't look at all appetizing. And then there are 2 bags of frozen cheese. This is grated cheese that I froze. Now, I'm defrosting a 3rd bag. Here is the 3rd bag. I'm defrosting that one to see if it's going to be any use for tonight's dinner. So I'm going to put these 2 back in the freezer, but if this one turns out to be no use, these will go in the bin. So that is today's 10. Believe it or not, I very much dislike food waste. And I know it doesn't look that way. Part of the reason this stuff is in here is because I dislike food waste, and so I freeze things like some leftover frozen roasties or this piece of meat or whatever. But I don't remember to go back and eat it because of that out of sight, out of mind thing that I talked about in the last video. So I need to make a list on the freezer. When I put oddments in there, I'm going to have to put a note on the freezer door so that I know what's in there, because I'm not happy with myself about this at all. Okay, 10 items to get rid of today, and I think I've got more than 10 again. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Apple Watch straps. And believe me, I've still got at least another 16. Quite why I've got so many I do not know, but I don't like the glittery one. I don't like these. They look like a scrunchie on your wrist, and I thought I would like them, but I don't. They're not comfortable to wear. I don't like that one, and I never wear silicone ones, so they can all go. 1 very, very worn out nail file, that'll go in the bin. 4 of these brooch cardigan clips. Now, I bought these when I was doing an office job, and to be fair, they are very useful. There's nothing wrong with them. They're not no use. It's just that I don't need that many. I've kept 2 so that I've got some that if I want any in future, but I don't need that many. They came in a pack of about 6 or 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs of earplugs, because I bought a job lot and now I have my loops that Tammy very kindly bought me for Christmas. I no longer need them. So there's definitely more than 10 items there. Today's 10 things that are going are this crepe maker. It's one of those things that was on TikTok, and it showed you just dipping the stuff into the pancake mix and making perfect crepes. It does not work like that. It does not work. It's going. I think I need to clean the bottom of the dish a bit first, but it's going. Does not work. These pickled eggs. Turns out nobody likes pickled eggs. These smoky bacon Pringles, which there's only about this many left, but they're stale now. This peanut butter, which was bought for the dogs to do licky mats, and none of them seem to like it for some reason. This little chopper, which I do not use. These organisation labels, I'm not sure where they came from. A big thing of cashew nuts, which did not get used and have now gone really soft because this airtight container isn't that airtight. A horny hoofy thing, which the dogs just fight over. A little adapter thing, which I don't know what it's for, and it plainly doesn't matter. It's been in the back of the cupboard for how long, I don't know. And finally, this Tefal Fresh Express grater, which will go onto eBay because they sell quite well and we just don't really use it. So I'll clean it up because it's grubby from being in the cupboard and unused, and that'll go on eBay. And that is today's 10. Hello, it's time for 10 a day. Today's 10 are this KitchenAid chopper. I used to use it a lot, but I broke the size blade that I used to use. I've never used the other 2. They're still in their box, and you can't get replacement blades, so that can go. The little sucky thing that's supposed to hold the scrub daddy on the sink, it doesn't actually work. We can't get the scrub daddy to stay on there. This blender, which I used to use a lot at one point but haven't used for a long time, that can go. A bubble tea kit that Natalie and I bought. We intended to make bubble tea at home. We never got around to using it. It's now over 2 years out of date. Some Baxter's salad beets, which I just don't like. They're not very nice, and they've got a funny colour now. I mean, I would have thought that something pickled wouldn't go out of date, but they've got a funny colour. Dog paw cleaner. It's not actually great. They don't like it. They'd rather stand in the bath. And then 4 items of dog clothing, all of which are either not suitable for current dog sizes or don't get used or whatever. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's another 10 gone. Okay, 10 things to get rid of today. I have got 4 books. We've got 2 Millie Johnsons, which I have read. We've got this one called Cool Girl, which I couldn't get into. And then we've got Love Is Always Mum, which is Mae West's story. Not Mae West the actress, Mae West the daughter of Fred and Rose West. I thought it'd be interesting. I don't like it. I'm not enjoying it. Finding it quite an unpleasant read. Not liking that. So that's 4 books to go. We've got this Avon Faraway Infinity perfume, which is not only almost gone, but I just sprayed that tiny little bit and it smells weird now. It's gone off, I think. These are the spare letters for my illuminated light. I don't need them because I put in what I want in it. This is a little thing that I bought. There were 2 in the pack originally, and it's supposed to help with an ingrown toenail. Doesn't work. That can go in the bin. The charity shop's not going to want that. That's going in the bin. That's going in the bin. Those go to the charity shop. These are heel pads to put in your shoes, and unfortunately they came in a pack of 4. I used 1 pack. They didn't work for what I wanted, and the other 3 are useless. I've got some label clips with chalk marker. I don't know where I got them from. I don't know what I wanted them for, but I don't need them. They can go to the charity shop. This is the stand off my TV. I don't need it because, as you can see, my TV is on the wall, so that can go. And then there's this little cloth pouch thing, which has gone a very funny colour in the wash and isn't much use anyway. So there we go. That's today's 10. Okay, day 24 of clearing out clutter from my house, 10 items a day. I've got this rice cooker. I bought it to sell on eBay and then realised it is broken. That can go. I've got 1, 2 spare phone cases that I don't need. Both unused, so they can go to the charity shop. This one I bought and then didn't like when it arrived. This one came as a part of a bundle. I didn't need it. I've got this flash dash, which for some reason is in my office. I don't use it. I don't know why it's up here. I've got a very old candle. I realise some of this is just junk, obviously, and will go in the bin. That'll go in the bin. This can go in the bin because it's broken. Some trainer cleaner wipes, which have actually dried out and were never any good anyway. They can go in the bin. 4 lighters. I don't smoke. I haven't smoked for 26 years. I don't know why I've got 4 lighters. I've no idea. I mean, I presume I've got them for lighting candles, but I don't need 4, do I? So I will keep... I've got a candle lighter. I won't keep any of them. Plus, I don't light any candles. This is why I decluttered candles this week. They can all go. Pack of garden ties, which I do not need. I had them for my orchids. My orchids do not need them anymore. And that is the strap that goes with that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and a bonus little candle. There we go. That's today's 10.